A few days ago I ranked every single one of the 186 Bon Jovi songs on an album, and from that list I've made a new list of a ranking of all 16 of their albums. You know, they've been making albums every few years since 1984, leading them to have 16. So let's rank them. What's the worst Bon Jovi album of all time? Well, my least favourite, I'm not saying that this is a horrible album, but my least favourite is Lost Highway, and the reason for this is there's not really any incredible songs on the album. When I ranked every single song, the best song was in like the 50s or 40s, so not very high up at all. And I really encourage you to check out that video after this one, or before if you like. It might make you understand the list a bit better. But I have literally just taken the average place and then added some bonuses for bangers, you know, the songs in the top 20s, the top 30s and stuff like that, and then I've given it a final rating. And yeah, so Lost Highway got last. There's a ton of mediocre songs on it and a few boring ones as well, you know, the really slow ones. So it's not necessarily horrible, just not that good either. For similar reasons, The Circle is right after it. It's got some cool songs, okay, like Bullet, A Thorn in My Side. Those are my two favourites, but yet again, those were still like in the 40s or something. Nothing really high up, a lot of mediocre songs in my opinion. I know, and that came right after each other. Both of them were not good in my opinion. They were also ranked very similarly, only a 0.1 difference in their final score. What About Now is next. So this one was a bit too long of an album, I think. There were too many songs on it, because there were some cool songs. I did like a lot of them, but there were also a lot of boring ones that just didn't even need to be on the album. But overall, I don't think it's as bad as the other two. I mean, they're not horrible again, as I said, but What About Now is a bit more interesting. You know, there are more interesting songs on that album. 2020, that was his kind of, there were a few protesty songs on it, but there was also, you know, songs like Limitless, which was really cool, Blood in the Water. You know, this was a good album. So the bottom three I didn't really like, but this was a good album. It had some really cool songs. You know, Blood in the Water was my favourite, but it also had some mediocre ones. Next we've got This House Is Not For Sale. This one caught me off guard. I kind of expected it to not be that good, because I listened to Born Again Tomorrow, I think the first one, and I didn't like it at all. I thought, oh, the rest of the album better not be like that. The rest of This House Is Not For Sale, it was really cool. It had some really cool songs, like Roller Coaster was my favourite, I think, and I also liked Reunion. I know that one's calm, but yeah, very cool. And it also had a lot of, it was a quite consistent album. A lot of the songs were just, yeah, good songs, so not necessarily a ton of just terrible ones, just a lot of, yeah, good ones. So in 11th place we've got Burning Bridges. This one I thought would become lower, because while I was listening to it, it wasn't necessarily incredible, but I guess in my ranking I favoured it a bit. Songs like We Don't Run I really liked. And by the way, tell me your favourite album in the comments before we get to my top. And while you're there, tell me your favourite song as well, you know, by Bon Jovi. Anyway, Burning Bridges. Burning Bridges has some really cool songs. We Don't Run, A Teardrop to the Sea, those were my two favourites, I think. But it actually had a lot of really bad ones, in my opinion. I'm debating whether I should switch the positions of Burning Bridges and This House Is Not For Sale. They were really similar in the final score, and yeah, they could both be, you know, you could swap those places easily. Next we've got Bounce. I like Bounce a lot. You know, we're getting to the really good albums now, so this is 10th place, so yeah, I guess Bon Jovi has 10 really good albums. I like Bounce. It has some really unique songs, but it still has some classic Bon Jovi sound to it, and I think you can't really go wrong with it. Most of the songs on it are quite good. Of course, you do have those one or two few bad ones, but overall, good album. Have a Nice Day is next. This one I'd say is a big mark in their change of style. I mean, there are a few of them. You can get New Jersey to Keep the Faith, I think, was one big change in style these days, to Crush, and I guess Bounce to Have a Nice Day. So those were really close together, but they changed styles a lot in that time period, I think, and I don't think it was better, but it was different, and I think they definitely did need to do a bit different. And Have a Nice Day was a good album. It had some great songs. You know, the title track was great, Have a Nice Day, and it also had some other unique songs. You know, Who Says You Can't Go Home, he did a version with Jennifer Nettles, which was really nice. There's also Story of My Life, I really like. Yeah, it was a good album. Crush is next, you know, right on the dot 2000. This one has It's My Life, so obviously that's a really famous song. I feel like this one was pulled up a bit because of the bangers bonus that I added, because it has like 3 or 4 songs in the top 20, and it was really close to 7th place, another 0.1 difference. It's My Life, also some epic songs like Next 100 Years and Save the World, really nice ones there, I like them a lot. And it was overall just a great album. Okay, next we've got their second album ever, 7,800 Fahrenheit. I discovered that's meant to be the temperature the rock melts. I'm not sure if that's true, but it's cool nonetheless. Anyway, so this was their glam rock era, you know, they'd done the Bon Jovi album, the original. This was their second album, and it had some really, really cool songs. I love the sound of this album. It's got songs like, my favourite was Always Run To You, one of the most underrated Bon Jovi songs you'll ever hear. It's also got ones like Secret Dreams and The Price of Love. Those were my favourites. You've also got In and Out of Love, the most famous, which again isn't big, but songs like To The Fire were just not good, and Silent Night. And if those two weren't there, I think the average would have put it really high up. I love the style, I love the sound, I love everything about this album. We're getting into the really, really good albums now. Another 0.1 difference now, so New Jersey is in 6th, and this might be a bit low for some of you. Most Bon Jovi rankings of the albums put New Jersey in 2nd, and I just didn't want to put it in 2nd. It's not that I didn't want to, I didn't because of this ranking. It put it in 6th. You know, the average, it has some amazing songs, you know, Wild as the Wind, Born to Be My Baby, Bad Medicine, all these really, really classic Bon Jovi songs. I'll Be There For You, but it's also got ones that are just a bit annoying. You know, some of the songs on this album really get on my nerves, and as epic as some of them are, it's also, you know, it's kind of like it's not got many mediocre tracks. I feel like a lot of the tracks on this album are either really good or really bad, and yeah, I guess that put it in 6th, but yeah, still an incredible album, don't get me wrong. Okay, next we've got the original Bon Jovi album, 5th. This might be a bit high for some of you. I know a lot of people put it quite low down, but I think it's really nice. You know, you've got their first ever stuff. It's got Runaway, that was their first song, I think. It was obviously incredible. That glam rock era with that style, I love it. I really like it, okay? And you've got some gems, you know, hidden gems like Roulette, I really like. Burning for Love and Shot Through the Heart, they're really cool. It doesn't really have necessarily any horrible songs, and I think it's quite a consistent album. It does its style, it does everything it needs to do, and yeah, that's why it gets 5th. We're going to talk about albums that have been really, really close together, as in the final score. Well, the next two are literally got the same exact final score, so it was literally just who I just chose which one got to 4th or 3rd. So 4th is their most recent album, Forever. Now, you'll hear me in the last video, in other videos, telling how amazing this album is. It's so, so good for, you know, for a recent album. As you can kind of see on this ranking, a lot of the recent albums, This House Is Not For Sale 2020, are quite low down, but this one, their most recent album last year, was May 2024. It was really, really good, very consistent. I think the only bad song was, I mean, Hollow Man was a bit boring, as in, you know, it was just really a lyrical song more than just a listen song, you know. And you've got Walls of Jericho and Welcome to Paradise, which are alright, but again, not bad songs. And then you've got some of the best songs they've ever made, like Waves is really, really cool. My First Guitar, I love so many of the songs. Very consistent album, and I cannot talk about how amazing it is enough. It's so, so cool. As I said, with the exact same final score, These Days becomes 3rd place because I chose it, and I think These Days is ever so slightly better just because of how epic These Days itself is. Yeah, overall, it was just such a good album. You've got songs like These Days, really, really cool. Damned, Hey God, My Guitar Lies Bleeding in My Arms, all of these so, so cool. And although it does have a few songs that I don't really like, you know, It's Hard Letting You Go is a bit boring, Something for the Pain can get a bit annoying, but overall it's a really, really good album, so it definitely deserves 3rd place. So, 2 albums left. In 2nd place, is it gonna be Keep the Faith? Yes, it is. That means Slippery When Wet is in 1st. You expected it. Come on, you knew it was going to be 1st, but let's talk about Keep the Faith first. Now, I really like Keep the Faith, so it's got my favourite Bon Jovi song, which I'm not going to spoil. I'll let you watch the other video. Oh yeah, that's good YouTubing. Anyway, it's got some of the most epic Bon Jovi songs you'll ever hear. You know, really long ones, some nice ones, and it was just such, I can't describe it. It's so good. It's such a good album. But even better than that is Slippery When Wet. So this album, of course, has their biggest song, Living on a Prayer. Their second biggest song, You Give Love a Bad Name. Some of their other biggest songs, Wanted, Dead or Alive, and Never Say Goodbye. These are literally their biggest songs, and rightfully so. They're really, really, really good. There's not really a bad song. I mean, I'm not sure about Let It Rock. Let It Rock's not great, but the rest of the album's all really good. Tons of different styles. I mentioned that in the other video. It's just got so many different styles. I like it a lot. So you can't really go wrong. Every single song on the album's pretty good, and yeah, it's definitely deserving of the #1 spot. So tell me your favourite album in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like down below. If you enjoy my content, subscribe. And if you enjoy my content, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.